Hello, one and all, and welcome to another episode of MMA Vision Analysis. This one, I'm here to talk about Robert Whittaker and his future moving forward in the middleweight division. But before getting started, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and click that notification to get all of this that is new from this channel, your channel, the one and only MMA Vision Analysis. Robert Whittaker has recently made some comments regarding his future in the middleweight division. I have a lot of respect for Robert Whittaker, and I believe in recent times Robert Whittaker has been getting overlooked a lot. And I think the reason for that is obviously his form in the past few years. But that does not mean that Robert Whittaker is done. I don't know why my thoughts are that way about Whittaker, but I see this guy as a true competitor still. And in some recent comments that he's made, he says the most obvious step for him, or the logical fight for him, in order for him to some point in the future challenge for the title, is to face Strickland in his upcoming fight. I kind of agree with that. I believe Strickland versus Robert Whittaker is a great idea for a fight. When will this take place? Sometime, perhaps in the summertime, but I really think that this is a good idea. We all know that recently Israel Adesanya also expressed his thoughts about or his ideas for his upcoming fights. He did mention that he wants to face Dricus and then Strickland after that. So if everything goes to plan, this might play out. Because if Robert Whittaker was to be Strickland, if these two were to fight, does that mean he gets a direct title shot? I doubt that. I think Robert Whittaker would have to beat one more opponent in order for him, at least one more opponent after the fight with Strickland, if that fight was to happen. So let's say 2-3 fights down the line, that's when we'll see Robert Whittaker in contention for title shots or whatnot. But as of yet, I don't think a win over Strickland, if that fight was to happen, carries Robert Whittaker to a direct title shot. We don't know what could happen, but middleweight division, I spoke about so much in my videos, and I think it's just such an interesting division. I mean, all the divisions are interesting, but the middleweight division is especially interesting because you have names like Israel Adesanya and Hamzat Chimaev. That's it's just heavy names in that division. And obviously the champion of that division is Dricus. I predicted that the title will exchange hands a couple times this year, at least in that middleweight division. And I think moving forward, this statement will prove to be true. I'm very excited to see who's Dricus' opponent, because I think that's going to make things a lot more clear. Will it be a direct rematch with Strickland? Would it be a Israel Adesanya? Or would it be somebody else? I don't know who else could possibly challenge for that title. Maybe a Hamzat Chimaev. That would be out of nowhere. And I don't know if that would be deserved, in all honesty, because I don't think Hamzat has had enough time, specifically in the middleweight division. My personal opinion at the end of the day. But I'm very interested in the Robert Whittaker name being thrown into the mix, because you mentioned all these names, and you still have Robert Whittaker, Strickland waiting, just kind of nobody's booked as of yet. Adesanya obviously as well, and Hamzat Chimaev, if we were to consider him a middleweight fighter at this point. Nobody's booked, so this is all very interesting. I think a lot of it is going to be determined by who's Dricus' next opponent will be. And I think Dricus perhaps fights summertime. And come the end of the year, I really do believe that this title, with all respect to Dricus, but I think this title is going to exchange hands a couple times this year. It's already happened once. Maybe it's going to happen again. I really do think that it will happen again because of all of these. All these guys are so well and evenly matched, in my personal opinion. If you made it this far, I appreciate you for sticking around. Please let me know what you think in the comments and like, subscribe for more.